Ethel, the panel before this had one gentleman, and this panel only has you. But we will start with you. So, Ethel, as someone deeply involved in the fintech space, how have you seen fintech shape the financial markets in Ghana?
Okay, so I think when you think about it, we've been fortunate. I think we're born in a time where we've actually seen the divide or sort of the movement from the traditional banking. A lot of us are even pre-SMS, pre-text, right? Some of us were, where we didn't even have SMS, and now we are in this place where, we are banking at our fingertips. And so there's been quite a journey. And to give you context, let me go back to how we became a mobile-first country, right? So when we started, a number of things happened. There's always a perfect storm. To become mobile first, 3 things happened. Cheap Nokia phones, governments realized that they could make a lot of money selling licenses to telcos, right? And then telcos also figured that they could sell airtime so they could do prepaid versus postpaid, and that created the perfect storm to where most of the country now owns a mobile phone. And then we're going into what I think is our perfect storm for fintech, a very youthful population in Africa and in Ghana. I think the median age is less than 20, right? And then Ghana is in top 4 countries that receive VC investments into the fintech space in Africa. So, and then according to IFC, we have something like 16% of the developer skill sets across the continent actually reside in Ghana. So we are moving towards a perfect space of Ghana also becoming the sort of fintech mecca. Now, how it will affect us is that the developers and the tech folks and the bankers are going to, whether happily or begrudgingly, are going to have to come to the table and work together. I've sat on many panels where I got in trouble. A couple of years ago, I was sitting with 4 banking CEOs, and I said, innovation in banking is not going to happen within the banks with the existing people in the banks. It's going to come out of people who are sitting back, that are not entrenched in the banking system, that can see the opportunity, and it wasn't taking well, but hopefully this room takes that better. And so yes, there is going to be change in what banking is, how banking works, how fintech works. But the core of the banking services itself, that's not going to change. How we deliver it, that's going to change. People are going to need somewhere to put their bank's money. People are going to need savings products. People are going to need all those things. But how it will be delivered is going to change.
As an entrepreneur and a global speaker, what do you see as the critical success factors for fintech startups in Ghana?
Well, we'll start with regulation. My regulator is sitting beside me. Look, we've done well in Ghana to create a whole department, but also have a department that's actually headed by somebody who used to work in the telcos, that has the experience. Ghana has done exceptionally well. I've said this before on platforms where I said one of the biggest factors, success factors for us in the industry or otherwise is lifelong regulators, right? So we have people who don't understand the space, but we're very lucky in Ghana. I think there is room for growth there, and I'll say it again because I've said it on the Bank of Ghana stage, that I still think there's room for improvement, and I still think there is a need for a third deputy governor who is dedicated from the industry, who's a digital person. And I think that has access to the BOG board, that has, that level. I think that will accelerate a number of the things we've done. The other critical success factor, which I find funny, is MTN. MTN, because they've done the work in actually building out the pipeline. Now they have what we call Chinosis, which is they're giving APIs and platforming out, enabling fintechs and organizations and even banks to be able to plug in. That's going to be a game changer for us, because quite frankly, 90% of the mobile money sits with them. And I asked somebody the other day that if you wanted economic data on Ghana outside of middle income, you would have to look at the MTN mobile money data. So, and then our third thing is youth. We have I've said it before, we have a young, skilled group of people that will build out things. So those are my thoughts.
To ask is that I'm so grateful to the last panelists who spoke about consumer protection, because fintech is more about consumer protection. Now, my question is, the regulator also said that the adoption or people accepting fintech is not growing fast. But the issue is that if you look at Ghana, illiteracy, Ghana partially rural, what is the regulator's plan, or what are the civic things that have been put in place, or education, to be able to teach the rurals how to even adopt or use the fintechs? Because this is what is going to help us to really go deep and far. Because how do you say fintech in Tree? How do you say fintech in Ghana? It is very, very important that these things must be looked at.
Ethel, you want to chime in on that?
Sure. I just wanted to add, so beyond the regulatory, the regulatory work that's done, look, the telcos, if you go to your village, you'll find somebody selling a scratch card. They have figured out distribution. I genuinely think that banks have missed a trick on agency banking on the back of telcos to be able to reach areas that they're unbanked and underserved. Because if Coca-Cola has found distribution, telcos has found distribution. If we work on the agent banking and agent networks, I think there are ways in which we can access the people in the remotest areas, and so that the cost of doing business is lowered. That's just all I wanted to add. I think AI. Banks are going to own a lot of AI first because they can afford it, but fintechs are going to follow by building AI solutions. I'm looking forward to seeing personalized financial services based on AI in the market. Yep.
Of the panel. Wow. All too soon, ladies and gentlemen, what was thought as a dream has happened. And it's a joy to see that those here, those who came early on, those who've participated online, our mentors who passed through the mentorship corner, all exhibitors and people who patronize the exhibition stands, all of you have made it possible. And appreciate our last panel as they take their seats.